Hello, my dear students of Standard 9. I welcome you again to CMI's online classes. Today in this class, we are starting part 2 of chapter 2, The Sound of Music, and the title of the chapter is The Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. This part, that means part 2, is also a biography of a very famous Indian Shehnai player. In this full lesson, we will know many things about him. This chapter not only is in the form of a complete story that carry a flow of series of a story. Here, this chapter tells us about Ustad Bismillah Khan's awards, his performances, his achievements from his childhood and everything. But before beginning the history of him, we will first discuss about Shehnai, its history from where it came into existence. The story begins and takes us to the Indian era when Aurangzeb was the Sultan in India. The story says that Aurangzeb did not like the sound produced by the instrument called pungi. He had banned in his royalty the use and play of pungi to that extent that no one played the instrument, that is pungi. This instrument was thought to be the noise maker. At that time, there was a musician family. There was a barber from his family for the king's court and was a regular visitor of the king's court. Once he decided to improve the tone and voice quality of the instrument pungi. Then once he took a long wooden stick longer than the pungi and made 7 holes into that wooden stick. At time of blowing wind into those holes of wooden stick, he blocked and opened some of the holes of the stick. He realized that the sounds produced that way was very pleasing. He thought to play the sound in the royalty at the court. So when he played that instrument at the court, everyone liked the instrument and the sound produced by it. But he felt that the instrument was very much different from the pungi. So he thought to give it a new name, as he had played that instrument for the first time before the royalty. And the one who was playing that instrument in the court before the royal chamber was a barber. In Hindi we call Nai, so its name became Shehnai. After that, the instrument Shehnai was thought to be very auspicious and played during the celebrations, like at temples and in North Indian families. This instrument is played during their marriage ceremonies, and gradually the instrument was included in Naubat. Naubat, that means the collection of 9 special instruments that played at the royalty at the royal palaces. And among those 9 instruments, Shehnai was also one. This was the history of the instrument Shehnai. Now, to speak about Bismillah Khan. He was at the beginning only, Bismillah Khan was called Ustad Bismillah Khan by everyone, and later on he was also called Khan Sahab, and the man who took this instrument Shehnai to the classical stage was Bismillah Khan. So let's begin with his date of birth. He was born on 21st March 1916. He was born in the family of musicians. His grandfather was Rasul Bucks, who was also a famous musician and known as Shehnai Nawab by the people. His father, Pegambar Bucks, was also a famous musician. He was also a Shehnai player. His uncle and all family members were all musicians and Shehnai players. At the very early age of only 3 years, when he was taken to his uncle's home by his mother, he used to be very excited to see his uncle rehearsing, playing the Shehnai. He was greatly attracted to the sound of the music that he used to sit for hours with his uncle and played and listened to the sound of the Shehnai. So whenever he used to go to Vishnu temple with his uncle and see him performing, playing the Shehnai, he used to sit and see his uncle performing for hours. This way he began to spend his days. When he became 5, he too started singing at temples. He also used to sing very well, and after completing his song, he always used to get laddu of approx 1.5 kg as a reward by the local kings or local maharajas. He basically used to sing Bhojpuri songs. This way, he gradually started continuous practice of music with his uncle at the temples and ghats of Ganges, ghats of Ganga. By the age of 14 years, he attended Allahabad music conference with his uncle and performed with his uncle, where he was greatly appreciated by a great ustad that if he would practice regularly, he would achieve something great in his life. This was the childhood incident of Bismillah Khan. Next, in 1938, he got a big break. He got an opportunity to perform and sing songs for Lucknow All India Radio, and gradually he became famous as a radio artist, and people also loved to listen to him more in radio. He became a very famous radio artist. In 1947, when India achieved freedom, it was Ustad Bismillah Khan who welcomed India, and at that time when he was playing Shehnai, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru were also present there. His story says that then after he travelled many places around and across the country and gave many performances. His first performances abroad was in Afghanistan. The king of Afghanistan of that time was so much impressed by his performance that he was gifted a Persian carpet by the king. He impressed many people around the world. A filmmaker, Vijay Bhatt, was very much inspired that he had even kept his movie's name Gunj Uthi Shehnai, in which Ustad Bismillah Khan's song was also included, which was very famous worldwide. But being a famous personality as a musician in the film industry, he has worked in only 2 films till now. One in Gunj Uthi Shehnai and a Kannada film, a venture called Swadhi Apanan. Because he believed that the world of glamour, the film industry, was not fit for him. So he did not perform or work for any other ventures or films. To speak about his performances, he has performed in some of the really great places like at Lincoln Center Hall in USA, at World Exposition, at Cannon's Art Festival were some great platform where he had performed internationally. So he had become internationally famous musician. That an auditorium in Tehran was even named after his name, Tehar Mosque, Ustad Bismillah Khan. Now let's speak about his awards. He has received so many national awards like Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, and in 2001 he even received the highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. When he was receiving the Bharat Ratna, he gave a statement that he wished Indian families should encourage their children to promote them in music, as it is the culture of India, that this heritage of the country, that the people from abroad, the West, come to learn from the Indians. At last, he says that two cities in India, Banaras and Dumrao, were his most famous cities. He says whenever he would be, he always misses his cities. He misses India whenever he performs abroad. Whenever he performs in Bombay, he misses Banaras very much. Once he was requested by his US student to perform in the US hall, and he promised Ustad Bismillah Khan to decorate the stage so much that to make it to bring a complete environment of Banaras so that he would feel very much comfortable to perform there. During that conversation, he asked the student, smiling, that if he could also bring the Ganga there, from which we come to know that how much he loved Banaras and Dumrao. These two cities were very close to his heart. So it is said about Bismillah Khan, Ustad Bismillah Khan, that he is a perfect example of India's rich culture heritage, who took India's culture rich heritage to the international level. We would also speak about him that at last, being a Muslim, but when he performed at Biswanath temple, everyone was greatly attracted to his performance because of his pure soul he always put in his performance. I hope this information about Bismillah Khan will help you a lot in understanding this part 2 of chapter 2, and will be very much helpful to you all to solve the rest of the questions and the exercises related to the chapter which are given in the book. I hope now you are able to do all those exercises on your own, and please don't go through the internet. Write your own original answers and keep originality with your answers. So please don't go through internet, write your own answers. Okay students, I don't want you all to write or go through the internet to copy the answers, because it will be the waste of time, because it will not help you internally but externally only. Internally you will get nothing. So students, don't go through it, don't practice to copy answers from the internet, write your own answers. Okay, so this much for the explanation and understanding of part 2 of chapter 2. I hope now you are able, you have understood everything. So this much for today's class. Bye bye.